What is up, guys? You are now tuned into the Casual Wrestling Smackdown post show. I am Nerdy D, and if you were listening to this, you are part of the CWC, and this is the show where we join together to ask and answer the biggest questions coming out of Friday Night Smackdown this week. But before we get to that, do me a little favor and tap the like button. It only takes 2 seconds, and it lets YouTube know you're listening, and it helps us grow the Casual Wrestling Army as we continue to chip away at the IWC stronghold over online wrestling conversation. Let's start out. Got a little bit of housekeeping to talk about this week. The Discord has been revamped. It has been changed. It is strictly wrestling. So if you came in at one point and didn't like that there was a lot of different things bouncing around and going on there, the Discord is really meant to kind of create interaction during Monday Night Raw and Friday Night SmackDown. And then there'll be some talk throughout the week. But really the focus of the Discord is to kind of bring everybody together. I really want the Discord to feel like a bunch of friends just hanging out and watching pro wrestling. So if that's kind of your thing, if you want to watch wrestling with other people who are like-minded and like wrestling, that is the focus of the Discord. That is the direction it's going, and it has been revamped in that direction. We have a couple of sponsors for the show lined up. They're in the works, and there's going to be some affiliate links in the description of future videos. If you guys like any of those products, click the link, order the products. It helps the show grow without directly asking for money. So that, be on the lookout for that. I think this week we only have WWEshop.com. That's been made official. We're officially affiliates of the WWE. So if you're going to buy any merch from WWE.com, please click the affiliate link in the description of this video and use that. We get we get some kind of percentage. I'm not sure what it is. And then still go to thecasualwrestling.com for all of the casual wrestling merch we have available. I'm still working with the IT guys to get the forums up and fully running on thecasualwrestling.com. So one thing I wanted to do is ask you guys for any features or sections or things that you want to see on the website so that I can talk to them and we can get that all squared up and officially launched by, let's shoot for December to have that up and running. So let's jump into it. Let's start with question number 1 of the show today. And question number 1 is, on the casual scale of 1 to 5, how excited are you, Nerdy D, that we are getting LA Knight versus Roman Reigns at Crown Jewel? Now, come on. Let me start out by saying, SmackDown was fire this week. The wise man was back to looking like his old self. The tribal chief came back to remind us why he is the tribal chief. And here's the thing. Every time Roman Reigns leaves WWE for an extended amount of time, I start to convince myself that WWE would be better off without him. And truth be told, I think it would be okay. But every time Roman comes back, I'm quickly reminded he's that guy. Roman's that guy. We can't deny it. There is just something about when Roman Reigns is on SmackDown, SmackDown's on another level. When Roman's in the house, he elevates everybody around him, and he doesn't get the credit for that. The IWC is so quick to knock Roman Reigns, but Roman doesn't get the credit for how he elevates the people around him. He elevates Paul Heyman. He elevates Solo and Jimmy Uso. He gets the best out of John Cena, and he damn sure lit a fire under LA Knight's ass this week. And I laugh because I still have this nasty aftertaste from last Tuesday where the IWC was crying about John Cena and Undertaker showing up on NXT to spike the ratings. And I'm still getting comments on videos from people saying that WWE was scared of AEW. They don't want to compete. Really, guys? Really? They don't want to compete. Hey, IWC dipshits, you think you stand a chance against SmackDown? You think you stand a chance when Roman Reigns shows up? Sorry, guys. I used to make the analogy that WWE to AEW was like a varsity team playing against freshmen. That doesn't work anymore. The analogy should be, it's like a bunch of professional athletes playing a pickup game with elementary kids. Triple H just reminded the world that there is a WWE and then there's everything else. Y'all thought NXT was good? Watch SmackDown this week. That shit was almost perfect. In LA Knight, he stood his ground too. Let's not give all the credit to Roman Reigns. I'm not going to lie. I said it last week. I could get behind I could get behind LA Knight upsetting Roman Reigns. Like, LA Knight could take that ball and run with it. It's not going to happen, but I wouldn't be mad if it did. And I told y'all, John Cena was here to set this up for LA Knight. He fed him the ball, and LA Knight knocked that bitch out of the stadium. This is what The Miz had been testing LA Knight for. We are now front row for an explosive 20 days. And 20 days isn't going to do this justice. I expect fireworks. I don't expect LA Knight to hold back at all. I think that LA Knight takes the gloves off, and there might be some stray bullets and some promos that hit Roman Reigns in spots that he's not prepared to be hit. I think LA Knight is going to take this opportunity to make a case for why he should be champion. And we aren't even going to, we're not even going to slide off a track here and talk about Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns doing a stare down in the middle of SmackDown, because that could be a whole nother conversation this week. Triple H has me conflicted as shit right now. Do I want Dwayne Johnson? Do I want The Rock versus Roman Reigns? Or do I want to run it back and do Cody Rhodes versus Roman one more time? I don't know anymore. Every time when Dwayne comes back, I'm excited for Dwayne. When Cody and Roman stare down, I'm excited for Cody and Roman. I don't know. But one thing I do know is I have to apologize to Triple H right now for ever doubting that his booking was synonymous with Vince McMahon's booking. How was I supposed to know that the whole time I thought Triple H was falling into Vince McMahon's rhythm, that Vince McMahon had snaked his way back into the company and it hijacked Triple H's plans? I won't do it again. I won't doubt you again, Triple H. In fact, I'm going to build a small shrine for you behind me to give you the proper attention that you deserve as a professional wrestling booker. But man, LA Knight, I think people have tried to knock him the last couple of months. They go, oh, he's just he's a cheap knockoff of the Attitude Era. Knockoff? I don't think we can use knockoff, because I don't think it's not just The Rock and Stone Cold. I see some Kurt Angle in there. I see some Mick Foley. I even see like hints of Triple H. He's got a grit to him. So I'm putting my seatbelt on. This Roman Reigns versus LA Knight, this is going to be fun. This isn't going to be our standard SmackDown kind of run up to a premium live event. I think we are going to see fireworks. I guess the question was to rate this on the casual scale. This is a 10. This is a 10 out of 5. Is that a thing? Can we, I guess it's my scale. I could do what I want, but this is a 10 out of 5. This is what I have waited all year for. This is why I continue to postpone all of the LA Knight funerals that I was planning over the last couple of months. The Saudi crowd is going to go ape shit for this match. They are going to get behind Roman Reigns, and we're going to get another one of these classic banger matches like Drew McIntyre and Roman Reigns, like Sami Zayn and Roman Reigns. Roman is about to step into another just snake pit of a crowd, and it's going to be absolutely great. All right, so what's next? Love it or hate it, Nerdy D. KO being traded to SmackDown for Jey Uso. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. Absolutely love it. Triple H I swear Triple H is listening to the Casual Wrestling channel, and he's making all of Nerdy D's dreams come true. I was calling last week for WWE to get Kevin Owens into something meaningful, and against all odds, never saw this coming. The Super Friends are done. They're split up. They're on two different shows. Now there may be some remnants all the way through Survivor Series, which I'm fine with, but KO is independent. He's his own man. He's his own company now. And I don't care who KO feuds with first on SmackDown, just the fact that we can start to build back KO better, that's fine for me. We can pick up where we left off before Sami Zayn kind of exploded and derailed Kevin Owens' push that he was seemingly getting when Triple H took over. And I wish that next week Kevin Owens would come out and cut a promo, and first thing that happens is Elias would come out, but not as Elias, as the third brother. And we just pick that shit up right where we left off. He wouldn't be Elias, he wouldn't be Ezekiel, he'd be the third brother. And let's let that shit run its course, because we never got a proper finish to any of that. And I know Elias has been let go, but I don't think it'd be that hard to get him back in the building, especially to work with KO. But I'm glad we didn't do the cliche thing, making Kevin Owens immediately feud with Sami Zayn. There's time for that at a later place, or there's time, or just don't do it at all. Let them just stay friends from a distance. There's nothing wrong with that. If you would have asked me last week, if I was Team Raw or Team SmackDown, I probably would have gave you a bullshit answer and say, I have no allegiance. I like both shows equally, but I have a favorite child now. I have a favorite show, and it's SmackDown. The name of my favorite wrestling child is SmackDown. This roster, once again, feels like a couple years ago, this roster was tailor-built for Nerdy D. Kevin Owens, that's my guy. Bianca Belair, y'all know I'm a Bianca fan. Roman Reigns, Montez Ford, Damage Control. Hold on. Let's talk about Damage Control, because I think that I've been ashamed to say out loud, due to peer pressure from the IWC, that I'm a Damage Control fan, but I'm going to stand up right now. I'm going to say it with my chest. I am a Damage Control fan, mainly Dakota Kai, but I am a Damage Control fan in general. But I love this move. I love Kevin Owens to SmackDown. That's real firepower. That's real star power moving over to the blue brand, especially on nights where Roman Reigns doesn't feel like showing up. KO's a workhorse. KO will wrestle. You now have LA Knight and Kevin Owens on a show that was lacking a little bit. It had everything working. It just needed a couple guys who could carry that workload, and I think KO is that guy. I am curious. I want to know what everyone thinks will be Kevin Owens' first real story on SmackDown as he makes his debut in the next couple of weeks. Next question, Nerdy D. Do you think Jade Cargill is officially on the SmackDown roster after her tease with Charlotte? So notice something, guys. Notice that when I was listing my favorite wrestlers from SmackDown, I didn't take the opportunity to slide Jade Cargill into that conversation. And it's because I see what Triple H is doing here, okay? Why rush Jade Cargill into the ring when you can just continue to parade her around and tease her debut week after week? I don't think Jade Cargill is on any roster right now. I think Triple H is going to give her time to train in NXT for a while, and he's just going to continue to tease her on whichever show he feels like, whatever week he feels like. I think it would even be worth her cutting a few promos, on NXT, on Monday Night Raw, on SmackDown, where she's just kind of talking her shit, and you start to make these GMs, Shawn Michaels, Nick Aldis, Adam Pearce, you make them kind of court her to the brand. And I keep seeing all of these IWC dipshits talking about, Jade Cargill wasn't a real grab for WWE. Yet every time Jade comes on screen, the casual fans start to lose their shit. I see it. I see it in the Discord. I see it on the internet. I see it on YouTube. I see it all over the place. IWC, you want to act like she's not a big deal, yet every time she pops up, internet starts to stir up a little bit. And I get it. She doesn't have 750 submissions, and she doesn't do the super kick in every match. But have you guys seen what she looks like? Did y'all forget the fucking star power she has? The IWC is hilarious in this way. They have this new mantra that they're trying to sell everybody on, and that is, we should just be happy for all wrestlers when they change companies because it's best for business. Everybody has a place to wrestle. But then they immediately try to downplay anybody's impact that goes to WWE. Y'all are just mad because y'all thought Adam Copeland was going to be a company saver. And then you realize that he doesn't move the needle any more than Christian Cage does. They're great. They're great. Christian and Edge, they're great. They don't sell tickets. They're not needle movers. They're not going to save your sinking ship. And I love now how the IWC is trying to downplay this whole Tony Khan meltdown thing. I told y'all a few weeks ago. Y'all just don't listen. I told y'all a few weeks ago, when this isn't fun for Tony Khan, he's going to start freaking out. He's going to start losing his shit. He's going to start buying up whole ass companies and burn them to the ground. Fucking New Japan Pro Wrestling better be careful. Tony Khan is going to try to buy that company, and he will drag it down just like he's dragging down Ring of Honor and just like he's dragging down AEW. If I was Mercedes Moné, I would immediately open up my X profile. I would change my handle back to Sasha Banks, and I would just hope that nobody in WWE notices when I show back up to the locker room and go, I'm back, guys. I can wrestle here again, right? Like, nobody in their right mind at this point is thinking that AEW is where you want to go, especially after watching Edge jump ship and they tried to turn this into a world changer and nothing happened. If I'm Sasha Banks, I'm going down. No, this is bad. This is not going to work. If I'm Sasha Banks, I'm looking at how Tony Khan is out here taking shots at John Cena and The Undertaker now. Like little homie wouldn't sell his yacht to bring them to AEW. Tony Khan is so mad right now. The problem is, Tony, you'd find a way to fuck their booking up too. Tony Khan is the only person in the world who would find a way to fuck up booking John Cena. If you can't beat two promos, one from Cody Rhodes, one from John Cena, and The Undertaker stumbling his old ass into the ring to beat up Braun Breaker, if you can't beat that, that says more about Dynamite than it does about the booking in NXT. And then on top of that, Tony Khan's out here basically trying to act like WWE was sabotaging him while his mom was sick in the hospital, and completely ignoring the fact that it was his wrestlers, his bratty little bitch ass mean girl wrestlers, that created the shit show for his company, and the shit show that got your biggest commercial wrestler. You got rid of him because of this. Why won't you not openly talk about this, Tony Khan? But you will get on. You make this policy of no comment when there's something real to talk about. But now you're losing your shit and saying everything that pops up into your brain. You're damn right, Tony Khan. We're marking out for Charlotte Flair and Jade because we know Triple H is going to make that shit epic. Imagine being Tony Khan right now and thinking that these awards that Dave Meltzer keeps sending you, that you put on your bookcase, that those actually mean something. Like, imagine tweeting at Shawn Michaels like he gives two fucks about a plaque from Dave Meltzer and the Wrestling Observer pamphlet. You guys really think that the legend Shawn Michaels is losing sleep because Tony Khan doesn't think he can win Booker of the Year? I got news flash for you, Tony Khan. You know, Triple H can't win Booker of the Year because we're ascending him right now to the holiest level of booking, and we're just going to start referring to him as the God of booking. From here on out, Triple H, God of booking, shrine, going right there. What was I supposed to answer? I forgot. I got off track. Tony Khan pisses me off. Oh, what brand is Jade Cargill going to go to? Sorry. I wasn't on board with this at first, but I think NXT. I think have her squash Becky Lynch. Look, Bianca did it for you, Becky. It's time you return the favor. Have her squash Becky Lynch. Have her have a strong showing in NXT. Move her up when she's ready and let her be the star that she could truly be. And the last question for this week is, Nerdy D, what did you think about Triple H's big announcement that Nick Aldis is the new GM of SmackDown? I'm going to give a two-part answer here because I think this warrants kind of two different responses. Number one, that might have been the worst handled announcement of all time. As a casual fan, I will speak for other casual fans. Most of us didn't really know who Nick Aldis was. And that's not meant to be disrespectful by any means. I'm just saying, as a casual fan, I don't understand what his importance is to professional wrestling. I think that some kind of video package showing his accomplishments and who he is and what he's done could have been nice to kind of catch us all up to speed. But here's the second part of the answer, and this is the more important part. GMs are fucking back. Let's go. GMs are back in WWE, and this immediately fixes so many storytelling problems within the WWE. This immediately breeds competition between the two brands, something that has not existed in a few years. This immediately makes the draft make a lot more sense again. I saw a couple IWC guys go into full meltdown mode on Twitter, and they tried to say WWE is the only company that would bring in a guy who still has the ability to wrestle and put him in a GM role. Hey, dipshits. We now have a GM who can get physical and mix it up with competitors. Why can't y'all see these things? I hope that Nick Aldis is going to play a heel GM character. We don't have to start that way, but I hope that we quickly get it. Heel GMs are the best. And I hope that he immediately, once he makes that turn, starts going after people like Kevin Owens. Can you imagine Nick Aldis versus Kevin Owens in the closest thing we could ever do to recreate Stone Cold Steve Austin versus Vince McMahon all over again? And this is all the type of things that the god of booking, Triple H, can do. He's got it figured out. He's fixing everything that I said was wrong with WWE for the last couple years. One last thing, Triple H, I know you're listening. You're listening to the show. It's obvious at this point you're listening to the show. If we could just get you to fix the tag team titles, either split them up, unify them, create a new set for SmackDown, do something. Just do something. If we could get you to do that, boy, we're going to be cooking with peanut oil. Because SmackDown, you Triple H, god of booking, you're sneaky, man. You snuck up on us with a pretty credible list of tag teams on Friday Night SmackDown. Brawling Brutes, Pretty Deadly, Street Profits, Grayson Waller, Austin Theory, the LWO, the OC, Jimmy and Solo. That's a solid division. I don't know when you did that, but ever since Pretty Deadly came back, I'm like, holy shit, SmackDown has a tag team division. And all Nick Aldis has to do is show up next week with your word that he's got a new set of tag team titles and SmackDown is turning and burning, baby. Welcome to SmackDown, Nick Aldis. As head of the casual wrestling community, I look forward to learning more about you and what you can do for officially the A brand in professional wrestling. Let's look at some news. So Logan Paul called out Rey Mysterio after his crazy-ass victory against Dylan Dennis earlier today. Look, simple. I think Logan's tired of this boxing shit. It's kind of a shit show. After what happened today, I don't know if everybody saw, but that was a shit show. That was basically WWE. That's what it was. So it was a wannabe WWE, so why not go back and do the real thing? Dylan Dennis went for a takedown during a boxing match. He went for 2 guillotines. So what the fuck sport is that? That's not boxing. It was wannabe WWE. But here's the problem, Logan. This is the only thing I'm gonna say to you. Unless you're committing to full time, and you sounded like it. I'm not gonna lie. When you cut your promo at the end of your boxing match, you sounded like your heart might belong to WWE. But unless you're committing to a full-time run, we're not putting the title on another guy who shows up 3 times a year. We've had enough of that at this point. Commit and we can talk. You commit, we can talk. But no lie, Logan Paul would be a fun champion to have. There's so much good happening right now. Karrion Kross says he was scheduled to work with Bray Wyatt at WrestleMania 39, but plans changed. So I guess the plan was originally for something between Karrion, Scarlett, Bray, Bo, and Alexa, and it wasn't necessarily a match, but instead somehow we got shifted, Vince McMahon, to being teased Bobby Lashley against Bray Wyatt. This sucks, man, because this is so many cool moments were robbed from us because life sucks and bad shit happens. I mean, that's the only way I can word that. I do hope that WWE decides to push Karrion Kross. I've been I've been told by different people in the casual community how much they like Karrion Kross, and I've always kind of echoed those sentiments. I think that there is a extremely interesting character with Karrion Kross there. And I think that, you could still do some cool stuff if Bo Dallas decides to carry on the Bray Wyatt story. You could still introduce Alexa back into that Scarlet, and Karrion Kross could carry on that Bray Wyatt legacy. Cool thing about this is I don't think there's any rush to get into this. I think this is one of those timeless things that whenever everybody kind of comes together and is ready, they can get the band together and make something happen. And the last story this week is WWE is pushing for Randy Orton to return at Survivor Series. This is dangerous, guys. This is dangerous territory, and I'm not going to question the god of booking. I'm not questioning you, Triple H. I just want to heed a little bit of advice. I think that if your plan is to bring Randy back, that you might want to announce him ahead of time and not try to do the surprise. I think this is Chicago. Remember this, Triple H. This is Chicago. They're waiting for one person. Everybody's got their eyes on one surprise. So I'm afraid if you tease a surprise and that surprise is not CM Punk, I don't know how Chicago reacts. I assume they react okay, but even then, I think Chicago has a little bit of a dicey relationship with St. Louis, which is where Randy Orton is from. So I don't know. If he's coming back as heel, I guess it works, but I think I would announce Randy early on if I'm bringing him back. But here's the deal. One last thing for AEW. If you thought the rating gap was bad before Randy Orton came back, this is about to get a whole lot worse. WWE is starting to get back a lot of those pieces they lost when AEW thought they were tightening the gap and becoming actual competition. This gap is going to widen in the next couple of weeks. It's not going to shrink. The direction that WWE is going is going to continue to be up, and AEW is going to continue to be down. Just imagine this best case scenario, Survivor Series, Chicago, we get Randy Orton and CM Punk. I think we may be asking for too much at this point. But that is all I have for you guys this week. Make sure to watch the Casual Wrestling Podcast on Wednesday nights. Quick word about the Casual Wrestling Podcast that I should have done in the housekeeping, but I'm going to talk about now. That show is going to officially be a show with myself and a couple of my friends. It's going to be a group show, so it may take a week off, maybe a week or two. You'll still get the SmackDown show. You'll still get the Raw show. You'll still get the Champ and the Chick. But while I just finalize exactly how we're doing that, it may take a week off. It may not. I may get it all together this weekend and it runs smoothly. I'm just a heads up that show could be hit and miss the next couple of weeks. So don't count on that being a mainstay through October. But make sure to check out the Champ and the Chick that post every Sunday night, the Monday Night Raw post show, which posts Tuesdays, and the Friday Night SmackDown show, this show, which posts Saturdays. Hit the like button, share this episode with somebody you know, and until next time, keep it casual, my friends. I'm tapping out.
Step in the ring, if you ready, let's go. Hey, Casual Wrestling Community Show. You already know, talking WWE. Keep it rolling and hosted by Notorious Nerdy D. Dope show that you gon' find. Tune in cause it's online. Hit 'em with a figure 4 leg lock, power driver or clothesline. We bringing that heat like for show.